This right here is Carcone Carne. I'm James Van Osdell, and Carcone Carne is sponsored by Exploding House Printing. They're here for all of your screen printing, embroidery, and other merch needs. They're local to Chicago, but they do work all across the U.S. But here in Chicago, they're located in Hermosa, and they work with small businesses, bands, brands, artists. If you're looking for merch, these are your guys. And the main guy is Jonathan. He's been doing this for decades. He knows what he's doing. And besides his technical expertise, which is vast, he delivers production efficiency and cost awareness to offer boutique print shop quality at much lower large print shop prices. Check them out on Instagram at Exploding House, or check out their site at explodinghouseprinting.com to get a quote or to check out a list of all their clients. We are virtual for this episode, and I have a good reason. My guest this week Oh my God, L7, the tour, the Last Hurrah Tour. From where I'm sitting, the L7 catalog continues to age beautifully. The riffs, the attitude, the humor, the hooks. I mean, right out of the gate, they were fully formed. Just going back to that second album, Smell the Magic, which was still a couple years before they broke, these songs still hold up, and they can level any room they're played in. That opening song, oh my God, Shove, about as perfect as you get for an opening for a rock album. So earlier this month, L7 announced their Last Hurrah Tour, which will find them back in Chicago at the Vic on Sunday, November 1st. You've been warned, the end is near, and you don't want to miss the last hurrah. And while all good things must come to an end, the band's been around, including a lengthy disbandment, since the late 80s. I don't want to see them wrap up, but I totally get it. Donita Sparks of L7 joins me for an audio-only interview. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can turn away from the screen, I guess. Just make sure you're listening. All right. So Donita, the last hurrah is upon us. To paraphrase one of America's great thinkers, what's up with you winding down?
You know, we started this reunion in 2015, and even though we've made new music and everything like that, we've been doing great. And now we think it's kind of time to sign off, because it'll be at a high, because when we went on our hiatus in 2001, we were really petering out, and the wheels were falling off, and it was just not, and it really just, Susie quit the band, and it was just not a good feeling. We didn't even know our last show was our last show. You know what I mean? So this is like a definitive Last Hurrah Tour, which I think will be a joyous occasion, bittersweet, of course, but I think it'll be a fun time. And it looks like the crowds are going to be, it's going to be well attended. It looks like.
Oh, I would imagine there'll be tears shed.
Probably by me, most of all, but I'm going to try to keep my shit together.
So between the final tour and the documentary almost 10 years ago, I've got to think there's been a lot of thought about the band, where it's taken you, Dee, Jennifer, and Susie. Has this been a situation where time and age have softened the low points and maybe brightened the high ones?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Softened the low points.
Because there have been highs and lows throughout the career.
For sure.
But now that you're kind of taking a victory lap, so to speak, I mean, is it more of a focus on here are all the cool things we did?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Yes, I think we've done a lot of cool stuff, and often I'm reminded by people on Instagram or like on the street, or a fan comes up to me or something and oh yeah, we did that, but yeah, the lows stick out too, I suppose, but it's all part of the journey.
Sure. Yeah, I was thinking about the 90s when we first came to meet you, so to speak. At the end of the day, I mean, everyone wanted to label shit in the 90s, but at the end of the day, L7's always been a guitar band. whether that guitar sound expressed itself in songs that lean more punk, hardcore, or metal, it all came down to those big, awesome, memorable riffs.
Well, thank you. We always tell if there's a sound person that we're unfamiliar with, we always say loud on the guitars, low on the vocals, because it's not that we don't like our vocals or anything. It's just our sound. We're not a vocal band. We are a guitar band. So it's got to be powerful, and the vocals can't be too loud. That's just the way it is. We're a rock band.
100%. And another defining characteristic, I mean, really from the get-go, this was a band that came across as having no fucks left to give, whether we're talking about Shove, Mr. Integrity, Fuel My Fire, or Shit List. I mean, that was L7 came out with middle fingers ablazing.
Yeah, we also had smiles on our faces too.
There's a sense of humor through it all, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that expression, give zero fucks. We care a lot.
Right.
To paraphrase or to quote Faith No More, it's not like, oh, we're these nihilistic fuck everything. We actually do give a shit. So that's always been a part of our band personality. And, yes, we have anger anthems, but there's also humor within those anthems too. I mean, those anger anthems.
I mentioned Fuel My Fire. Should that have been a single on Hungry for Snake?
Yes, you're right. I think God, Andre was our first single from that record, and we love Andre, but I think we should have come out of the gate with Fuel My Fire. And because we followed up Andre with Stuck Here Again,
Right.
which is a cool song, but it's kind of like, and at that time, a lot of our contemporaries were putting out kind of slower stuff too, like their second single. So we were like, maybe we should do that, So it was a wrong move.
But you're right, though. That was the pattern. I mean, Andre out of the gate, everyone led with, those songs that were just the crushers, the songs that spoke to the fans. Then the second song was the opportunity to go wider.
Yeah,
from a record company strategy perspective.
To get ballady or not ballady.
Mid-tempo, at least.
Yeah. And I think that was a misstep of ours because we could have been more barnstorming out of the gate on that record.
And if I'm remembering correct, last time I saw you at Salt Shed in Chicago, I think you opened with Andre, which, I mean, Jesus Christ, way to grab people by the throat.
Oh, that's cool. Because I'm always thinking we should start with a barnstormer, but we do like to start with a mid-tempo one that's kind of known, so we can get all of our monitors right and everything. Because even if you sound check, things change, and you don't want to be in the middle of a barnstormer and it just sounds terrible and it falls apart. So, but I do like to start with faster ones.
And
sometimes our drummer D isn't warmed up enough to go, to start with a fast one. It really depends on how long we've been out on the road.
That's fair. And thinking about this lengthy career, Donita, L7's come across a lot of characters through all the time, whether it's Andre or Scrap or Mr. Integrity or the protagonist of Fast and Frightening. For decades now, I've tried to say frightening in the correct way. I just can't do it.
Frightening.
Yeah.
You got to put some John Lydon in that.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you got to put a little Johnny Rotten in that.
Back to the highlights. Serial Mom, clearly a high point, at least in the 90s. Camel Lips.
Yes.
And being anointed by John Waters. That's just...
Yeah, that was amazing. That was out of the blue. And strangely, I don't know when your podcast is going to air, but there's like Serial Mom's having this like moment. It was just in the New York Times, and I've seen it on Instagram, and it's just, I don't know. It's not even like a 25th year anniversary. It's just like an odd year. So I don't know what's going on, but Serial Mom is having a moment.
Lollapalooza 94. I remember, my God, seeing you play when the sun was up early in the day at the World Music Theater in Tinley Park. Those sets were so quick. Like if you blinked, you'd miss the whole thing. What was funny watching your documentary, you accomplished something wonderful. Rare footage of both Billy Corgan and Nick Cave smiling in that backstage video from Lala.
Was Nick was Nick
He was
smiling?
like hanging. He was like hanging on the bus with you, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and there's an interview when we were interviewing the Bad Seeds. We were on 120 minutes, and we were chosen as the hosts only because we suspected that we are the only ones who could get into the other artists' dressing rooms. Like MTV maybe wouldn't have been able to get into the
right.
dressing room, but we did. So we interviewed Nick and Mick Harvey, and we got Nick cracking up a little bit in that one. And Billy Corgan, yeah, smile on his face.
Uh-huh. Big old smile. You mentioned, one of the low points. It still is remarkable to me that the Beauty Process came out the way it did. It's a fantastic album. And
Thank you.
If there was ever a time for you as a band to be described as resilient, I think that's the moment where you proved that L7 was a resilient band to emerge from that with those songs. What do you
Well,
think when
thank
you
you.
when you think back on the Beauty Process?
I like the beauty. I love the Beauty Process. I love Slap Happy, which followed it.
Hmm.
And but we got dropped on the Beauty Process, and it really just was. It wasn't. We. I don't know. I've got some theories about why it was we were dropped. Listen, whatever. I think that the record costs a lot of money to make. All the labels were trimming down at that point. You either had a
It was a
hit or you
weird
didn't.
time too.
Yeah, everyone was getting dropped. Like you either, and it's like it's not up to the band to sell records. It's up to the labels to sell
Yeah.
records and to like push radio and everything. So I felt like we were writing good songs, but we just didn't have the label behind us anymore.
And
And I don't think we had the label behind us uh on Hungry for Stink either, the record before it with Andre
right.
and all that.
And the songs, just to stick on Beauty Process, the hooks. I mean, I Need is one of those songs that rattles around my head.
That's good because you're reminding me that we should bring that one into the back into the set. We played it on one tour during the reunion thing, but I mean I shouldn't say reunion in the last 10 years,
Mhm.
but maybe we'll bring that one back for the Last Hurrah.
I would love that. And since you mentioned the reconnection, what did it feel like to reconnect for Scatter the Rats?
Well,
Was it highly
we were
emotional?
we were already connected at that point. We reunited in 2015 and we made Scatter the Rats in 2018. We made a couple singles before that,
Right.
and then we went in to make the album in 2018. So it was different. We were recording at our friend's house in the Silver Lake Hills. It's and very talented guy named Norm Block was producing, and it was in his house with the dog running around. I think that's the first time we were like in somebody's pad recording a record. So
And
that
bugs
was
make everything better.
it did, um, yeah, there were challenges. We had two West Siders coming to the East Side, and Jennifer didn't even have a car. So it was just like a weird, like we were never a band that got to go to Jamaica and make a record,
Right.
and go to fucking, the Bahamas and make a record. We've never been that fortunate. We were always driving out to the valley and going to Sound City, which, no complaints on Sound City, but, these long, like in the valley, in the heat of the valley, that's where we would make our records.
Thinking about what you were saying about being on the label and just what you were saying about where you recorded in that documentary, which I loved, and I can't believe that was a Kickstarter. It's so well done. I think it was you who basically said at the end of the day, you come off the road and you were still essentially just working stiffs. Like any money you made, however scant it was already spoken for. It's a tough ride unless you're in the like 1%.
Oh, for sure. And I think, listen, when you sign to a major label, which we did we had been on two indies and then we signed to a major, even though Slash Records was just kind of, they were indie too, but they had just been kind of bought by Warner Brothers, but they were indie at heart for sure.
Mhm.
But, we made Bricks Are Heavy with Butch Vig, and then they put us on tour in a tour bus. And, they like to make you comfortable so that you don't complain that much for being out on the road like constantly. But that adds up, all that money. So yeah, we would come home with nothing. And but we had friends who were selling a lot more records than us, and they were coming home with something, and that was great,
Right.
for them. But we didn't, our friends in White Zombie were coming home with scratch, and although they gave up their apartments to come home with scratch. So we never gave up our apartments, but they sold a hell of a lot more records than we did.
As the Last Hurrah Tour is upon us, again, the Vic, beginning of November, the question of legacy comes up. And from your perspective, it doesn't have to be one thing. I mean, I think L7 means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I mean, for casual fans, it's pretend we're dead. For musicians, I think there's a blueprint on how to succeed on their own terms. And for social minded fans and artists, I think there's a lot to be said for how someone uses their platform. Where do you think L7 sits as you're kind of riding off into the sunset?
I don't know. I mean, I would say that I think that we were like back in the day, I think that we were slyly, not even slyly, but I think we were kind of maybe saying some cultural political commentary
Mhm.
a bit more than like inner angst. And I think there were a lot of bands that were like very inner angst or like uh I don't know, just like I'm not a person who really spills my guts about my personal life, even though a lot of those songs were written about people we actually knew, and like you had mentioned earlier, Scrap and
Mhm.
these were real people, and we wrote from our lives for sure. So, but I was, I don't know. I
It's
really
it's
don't know.
hard, right? It's hard to be objective about yourself.
It is for sure. I know that uh, I'm not a big love song writer. I think that there are people who are really good at that. I'm not. I don't think. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, James. I think that's for other people to maybe say, but I feel for myself, it's mission accomplished. Because when we set out, like we wanted to be a good band, and we wanted our gender to not be relevant so much, even though it became relevant. But we just wanted to prove that in a punk rock way that you could throw a band together, work hard, and go on tour and play out of town and make a record and go to Europe. And all these things just came very gradually to us with a lot of hard work and a lot of poverty. And then, so yeah, it's been a long ride, James.
For sure. But I think you said it, mission accomplished. And we get to celebrate. This really should be a celebration. This is kind of the way I'm looking at your show at the Vic coming up. It's a celebration, and we get to celebrate with you and say goodbye.
Yeah,
Uh, and I
yeah.
have to say it's been said, you've acknowledged as much from the stage, but since you and Dee have Chicago roots, we don't really care how long you've been away. We still claim you as ours.
Oh, that's so great. I feel it when I come to Chicago, at the shows, when I'm kicking around. Um, I think that we feel the love. Dee and I feel the love. And yeah, although I believe her Chicago accent is stronger than mine. I've been told I have a Chicago accent. I don't hear it,
I don't
but
either.
yeah,
Because you
you
say
don't?
Chicago, you don't say Chicago, you say Chicago.
I say Chicago.
You,
Yeah.
you don't have that
My whole fa
Midwestern hard vowel sound.
my whole family says Chicago, which is weird. And then other people say Chicago. So I don't know. I think Dee says Chicago. I'm not I can't remember. I'll have to ask her
She's
tonight at
got more
rehearsal.
cred.
Yeah, we're rehearsing tonight, and I'm going to ask her some questions about uh, when she was living on the North Side, and then she'll start talking about Chicago. So I'll take note of that.
Well, as bummed as we are that this is it, we're really excited to see you at the Vic come this fall. What a ride! Mission accomplished. Love the band. Love you for. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, James, and thanks for being a supporter. And yeah, we're playing the Vic. We haven't played the Vic since like '94 or something. So
Get out.
Yeah, we played the Metro
Yeah.
quite a bit, and we love the Metro. But this is kind of cool that we're playing a different place to sign off. And yeah, but thank you for your support, and thank your listeners. And
We'll see you in November.
we'll see you in November.